Since we're on this topic of measures of central tendency and spread, I want to talk about box and whisker plots, which are a kind of graph or plot or picture, a great way of showing us some of these measures. So here's an example of what a box and whisker plot might look like. I just want to jump right into it because I think this is the easiest way to illustrate what it actually is. So you'll notice here that you have a number line along the bottom. You always have that as part of a box and whisker plot, but it doesn't necessarily run always from 0 to 15. You could have a range here of any set of numbers depending on your data set. The data set is represented in this figure up here, which is the box and whisker plot itself. This plot, this picture, is always going to have this box in the center, which is where the box part of box and whisker comes from. And then it's always going to have these lines out to the side. They can be varying lengths, but they'll have the lines out to the side and then very often a little dot on the end. These lines with the dots on the end, these are the whiskers of a box and whisker plot. So you have the box in the center, you have the whiskers on either side, and then you're always going to have this vertical line here somewhere inside the box. Now here's what's so great about a box and whisker plot, even though this doesn't look very interesting as is. This little line in the middle represents the median of the data set. So we know just by looking at the plot that our median is at 11. So we can call the median here, that is 11. So the median is represented by this line, and we can always see where that is. The range of the data set is always going to be given by the rightmost point of this right whisker minus the leftmost point of the left whisker, because this rightmost point here represents the largest value in the data set. So this here is the largest value. And this point is the smallest value. So in order to find the range, we just take the largest value, which it looks like is 14, so 14, minus the smallest value, which it looks like is 2. So the smallest value is 2. The range will be 14 minus 2, or 12. So it's really easy to see the range from this plot as well. Remember before that we also talked about the quartiles of the data when we were talking about the interquartile range. Well, this whisker here always represents the first quartile, or Q1. The part of the box that's to the left of the median represents Q2, the second quartile. The right side of the box, so the box to the right of the median, will be Q3, and then the whisker here on the right side will be Q4, the fourth quartile. So what this tells us is that a quarter of all of the values in our data set fall somewhere here in the first quartile, so somewhere between 2 and 5. A quarter of our data lies in that interval. A quarter of our data lies in the interval 5 to 11. A quarter lies in the interval 11 to 13. And then the last quarter lies in the interval 13 to 14. Therefore, to find the interquartile range, we just take this point right here, the right edge of the box, the value that's between the third and fourth quartiles, and we subtract the value that's between the first and second quartiles, which is the left edge of the box. So the interquartile range will be 13 minus 5, or 8. What we can't tell from a box and whisker plots are the mean or the mode. We're not able to tell where the mean is and where the mode is in a box and whisker plot. We can't calculate their exact values, but we can get the median, the range, the interquartile range, the smallest value, the largest value, and the range of each quartile, the first, second, third, and fourth quartiles. Because we collect all this information from a box and whisker plot, we oftentimes will summarize this data in what's called a 5-number summary or 5-figure summary. So we call this a 5-number summary. And this is basically just another way of displaying the same information that we get from a box and whisker plot. So both of these kind of give us the same information. We get the minimum value here of 2, which we can get from the end of the left whisker. We get the maximum value from the rightmost point on the right whisker, and so we list that maximum value there. We also know that we have the median here at the vertical line, and we give the median here. And then we give the endpoints of the box, or this dividing line between the first and second quartiles, as Q1 here, and then the dividing line between the third and fourth quartiles as Q3 here. And so this 5-number summary really gives us the same picture as the box and whisker plot, because we can essentially see here the endpoint coming here to the edge of the box, coming here to the median, coming here to Q3, and then coming here to the maximum point. So we get those values, they correspond to these points on the box and whisker plot, and we can really express this data either way. So they both give us these key points of minimum and maximum values and the median, and the first and third quartile values.